Hello everyone, so welcome to my course on Laplace Transforms. Today we are going to see one of the very important concept in Laplace Transform. Actually, this was the reason by which the Laplace Transform was invented. That is, we are going to see how Laplace Transforms help us to solve differential equations. Well, to be precise, how Laplace Transforms help us to solve an initial value problem. Okay, so I'll be stating the theorem and then I'll be solving some examples. I won't be taking the proof because the proof is very standard. You open any book on Laplace transform, you will find the proof. But what is important is how to solve example using the theorem and the small points which one has to take care of while solving these problems. Okay, so the first point which I would like to say is if you want to solve a differential equation, it has to be an initial value problem. Okay, so if you want to solve it using Laplace transform, then it has to be an initial value problem. Initial value problem means what? A differential equation should be given to you and some initial condition should be given to you. If the initial condition is not given to you, then you cannot solve that by Laplace transform. So Laplace transform is used to solve an initial value problem. That is the first point one should keep in mind. Okay, there are some more points which I will tell you in the due course. So first of all, let's see the statement. So what does the theorem says? So if you have a function, say y means what? My y is f of x. So some people write Laplace of f dash of x is s into Laplace of f of x minus y of 0. So what does the theorem says? Laplace transform of a derivative of a function can be obtained from the Laplace transform of the original function. So Laplace transform of a derivative depends upon the Laplace transform of the original function. With some modification, you multiply by s and subtract with y of 0. What is y of 0? It is the initial condition that will be given to you for the given differential equation. So this is what the theorem says. Obviously, we will assume nice things. That means we will assume the function is nice. Nice as in what? I will assume that our function is continuous on 0, infinity. Your function obeys exponential growth and the derivative of the function is piecewise continuous on 0, a for all a positive. In short, it is piecewise continuous on close 0, open infinity. So for this to be whole true, we will assume our function is a nice function. Nice as in it satisfies this three condition. Well, why do we need this? We are assuming this so as to make sure this thing exists. Okay, so because of this two thing we saw in the existence theorem session that under this condition my Laplace exists and hence this exists and hence this exists. So just for the existence of this we are assuming this thing. Okay, so this is how you define Laplace transform of a single derivative. Now how do you define Laplace transform of a double derivative? So Laplace of double derivative is nothing but s square into Laplace of y minus s into y of 0 minus y dash of 0. Now second derivative means what? It's this will be used when you will be having a second order linear differential equation. Okay, and whenever you have a second order differential equation and if you look at the initial value problem, if you can recall, that initial value problem will be having two initial conditions, y of 0 and y dash of 0. So those two values are putting over here. Okay, so all these things is happening in my S space. I talked in my first lecture. Okay, all this thing is happening in our S space. Okay, so here also if you observe, your Laplace of a second derivative is also depending on the Laplace of the given function. So Laplace of first derivative depends upon the Laplace of the original function. Laplace of second derivative also depends on the Laplace of the original function with some multiplication like s square and some kind of translations. So this is how we define for double derivative. Again, we will assume some nice thing. When it was single derivative, we assume that f is continuous. Now it is double derivative, so we assume that your f and f dash is continuous. Previously it was only y dash, so I assume y is exponential growth. Now it is y double dash, so I will assume that y and y dash both are of exponential growth. When it was y dash, I assume f dash is piecewise continuous. Now it is y double dash, so I will assume f double dash is piecewise continuous. So under this condition, we have this theorem. Now what would be for Laplace of y triple prime? Again multiply by s. So it will be s cube Laplace of s square y of 0 s y dash of 0 minus y double dash of 0. Since it's a triple derivative, so for third order differential equation, you will be having three initial conditions: y of 0, y dash of 0, y double dash of 0. And again, what will be your conditions? Your f dash and f double dash is continuous on 0, infinity. f dash and f double dash is of exponential growth, and f triple dash is piecewise continuous. Similarly, you can define Laplace for fourth derivative, fifth derivative, and so on, and you keep on generalizing these conditions. So the first thing you will do is you will pause the video and you will write down the Laplace for the fourth derivative. If you know, well and good. If you don't know, just write down what you feel. Trust me, your intuition will be correct. Okay, and once you write down the formula for fourth derivative, you write down those three conditions as well. If you want, you can put in the comment section. I will verify your answer. So this is how you define Laplace transform for a derivatives. Second point to keep in mind is, here I am taking y of 0. Okay, like if you have an initial value problem, I can give you any initial condition. Say y of 0 is 10, that is fine. But if I give you, say, y of 1 is 10, instead of 0, I am giving you the initial condition at 1, some non-zero number. Then how to use this theorem? Then you need to do some kind of translations that I will tell you at the end of my example. But make sure here it is y of 0, y dash of 0, y double dash of 0, and so on. Okay, so the initial condition should be given at 0. Why 0? Because if it is at non-zero, you can always translate to 0 and then you can solve the problem. So that's why 0. Okay, now let's go for the example. So suppose this is the differential equation is given to you, or since initial condition is given to you, I will say suppose this is the initial value problem given to you. Now I want to find its solution. Well, one way is you can go by variable separable, that you can always do, but let me do this by Laplace transform. So what you do is you apply Laplace on both sides. Now since Laplace is linear, this Laplace will go inside. So this is Laplace of y dash plus 4 into Laplace of y equal to Laplace of 1. Well, I am treating this as constant coefficients. When it is a variable coefficients, then the things are different. Okay, I will come to it in my next sessions. So here it is constant coefficients, so constant come out. Now if I try to apply the formula or the theorem which we just saw, what do we have? So Laplace of derivative is s into Laplace of y. Usually if f of t is the function, we denote its Laplace by f of s. So now when y of t is a function, I will define its I will write its Laplace as y of s, and therefore Laplace of y I am writing y of s. Okay, minus this thing. So this is the theorem I have. Now if you take out now y of s common over here, what is y of 0? It is 1. You will putting the initial condition over here, and then you take on the right hand side, you have this thing. So what is your y of s? It is 1 upon s plus 4 equal plus 1 upon s into s plus 4. Now you had a Laplace transform. If you recall my first lecture on Laplace transform, I gave you a cycle. What was the cycle? A differential equation will be given to you. Your job is to find the solution. What you do? You apply the Laplace transform. You get some algebraic expression in S, and that's what I'm getting over here, an algebraic expression in S. Once you have that algebraic expression in S, you solve it or you simplify it. Once you simplify, you take the Laplace inverse, you get the solution of the differential equation. So here I am now simplifying this, whatever I am getting in terms of S. Okay, now here it's a product in the denominator. Whenever you see product in the denominator, partial fraction is the one that will always help you. So I can rewrite this as, so this 1 upon s plus 4 as it is, this I am writing as 1 upon s minus 1 upon s plus 4. When I do the cross multiplication, my s and s will get cancelled, only 4 will remain in the numerator. So I will adjust it by 1 by 4. If you do not know this technique, don't worry, you write this as a upon s plus b upon s plus 4, you find your a and b. Even that is fine. Now there is no product in the denominator. So now I have simplified my Laplace transform of y. And now what you do? You take the inverse to get the solution. So this was my y of s. You take the Laplace inverse. So Laplace of y was y of s. So Laplace inverse of y of s is y of t. What is Laplace inverse of 1 upon s plus 4? It is nothing but e raised to minus 4t. And this is the solution for the given differential equation. So you see how Laplace transform simply translates, or it takes you from the world of differential equations to the world of algebraic expressions or algebraic equations, and then with the help of the inverse you again come back to your differential equation world to get the solution. That's how it is useful. Now one more point to observe over here is, when we solve the differential equation using our standard methods, we used to get the general solution, and then we used to use our initial conditions to find the value of the constant c and the particular solution. What is the plus point over here is, here at the start itself you are putting the initial conditions. So at the end, you will directly get the particular solution. So need not to worry at the end. Many times we find the general solution and then we forget to put the initial condition and you lose your marks. But here, you are using the initial condition at the start itself. So that's the plus point of Laplace. Another plus point, okay, let me take one more example, then I will tell you the one more plus point. Now let's go for the second order initial value problem. Okay, so what is the first thing you will do? You apply Laplace on both sides and then you use the linearity principle. What do you get is, this is what you have. Now you apply your theorem. So after applying the theorem, what do we get? So first three terms is for the Laplace of y double dash. These two terms is for the Laplace of y dash, and this is my Laplace of y equal to 1 upon s minus 3. Now we put the initial condition here itself. So this is 0, this is 0, this is 0. So we have y of s into this quantity equal to 1 upon s minus 3. Now what you do is you bring this at the bottom on the right hand side. So what do we get is, so this is what your Laplace of y is. Now you have the product in the denominator, partial fraction. What do you have? So you write this as a upon plus b upon plus c upon. Now after simplifying, this is what you have. Now if you put s equal to 3, what do you get? 1 equal to 3 plus 2, 3 plus 5, and this will become 0 because there is s minus 3. Okay, now you put s equal to minus 2. So if I put s equal to minus 2, this will go away, this will go away. So what do I have? I'm putting s equal to minus 2. So b into minus 5 and 5 minus 2 is 3. So b is minus 1 by 15. And when I put s equal to minus 5, this and this will go away. Only this term will remain. So 1 is equal to c into minus 5 minus 3 is minus 8. Minus 5 plus 2 is minus 3. So c is 1 by 24. Now putting these values over here, what do you get is, this is what you have. Now you take the Laplace inverse. 1 upon s minus a is, its Laplace inverse is e raised to at. So this is the particular solution for the given initial value problem. And see, it was a non-homogeneous differential equation. Okay, so if you have gone by our standard method, how do you solve non-homogeneous differential equation? Either using variation of parameter method or method of undetermined coefficients. So first you find yh, then you choose yp, or you directly apply the formula for yp, then you find yp, then you add, that will be the general solution, then you use the initial condition to find the particular solution. So it's a lengthy process, but here you are using your initial conditions at the start. No need to separate yh and yp. You directly apply the Laplace and you get the answer. Now let me give you one problem for practice. So this is the initial value problem given to you. Apply Laplace transform and tell me the particular solution. Now in the next session I will tell you how to deal with the differential equations or how to deal with the initial value problem if in place of 0 if something else is given to you. Suppose y of 1 and y dash of 1 is given to you, or y of 8 and y dash of 8 is given to you. If some number is given to you other than 0, then how do you solve using Laplace transform? Then you do some kind of translations that I will do in my next lecture. So I hope you enjoyed and understood my lecture. If yes, do not forget to like, share and subscribe. Thank you.